Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. How exciting is this video? If you have been around since last year, I literally stood right in the same spot when we did our first garden makeover video, and I am back for 2023. I told you guys in 2022 that I was back for phase 2 this year, and I'm going to deliver. I am so excited to share this video with you guys today. So I'm just jumping on to intro this video. You're gonna have a treat of a video today if you love transformations, DIY. Obviously the sun has finally decided to come out in the UK. It's officially summer. Well, it's not actually summer, it's spring, but it's feeling like summer. We're all getting out in our gardens and we all want to make our space amazing. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how we are laying our Astroturf. I am doing this completely DIY. I have the help of my family and my partner Andy, but this is a DIY project because I know people get really intimidated and they feel they can't lay, we did decking last year and we're doing the Astroturf this year, and I just want to show you guys the step-by-step process. So if you're thinking of doing this yourself, you can see what the process involves, kind of the costings behind it as well, and if this is something you want to take on, because at the end of the day, landscapers are just so expensive. And honestly, it's not a hard process. So sit back, relax, enjoy this video. You are about to see how I lay my Grass Direct Astroturf. I am very excited to say I'm working with Grass Direct in this video on a gifting basis. The opinions are completely my own. They've also been super kind and given me an exclusive discount code for you guys to use, so make sure you check the description box after this video if you are looking at ordering some Grass Direct grass, because honestly guys, the quality was amazing. And they were very kind enough to send over some grass for our garden. So I will go into that in the video. You're gonna see it being delivered, you're gonna see the final result, and you're gonna see lots of speed clips of the process of laying this along with the daily updates. So get yourself nice and cozy, sit back, enjoy, and let's get into the video. So this is the before of my garden, aka my mud pit. It is absolutely horrific. So for those of you who've been following the journey, we obviously have moved into a new build and they're notorious for having very bad ground. So we actually had the delivery arrive of the hardcore that we bought. So this is it being tipped off the truck. We just got it loose because we obviously also got the skip because we needed that. So that's an additional cost you need to factor into this DIY project. We then went ahead and started shoveling up our ground. This, to be honest with you, is the worst part of the process. The actual digging up of your current ground is going to be the back-breaking part that is just horrific. So we opted to go for a turf cutter. This is recommended as well, that could possibly help. However, this was the first time we were using it. This one was very tired, and as you can see, the ground was far too wet. So actually it wasn't doing very much. The wheels were kind of pushing it back down again. Although we hired it, it was about £55 to hire. Although we had lots of issues with this one because it was very old. So I don't actually recommend doing this, especially if you've got a smaller place. There's absolutely no need to hire one. But anyway, we went on with the turf cutter and the shovel, and we got the garden dug right up to this mess. So day 1 and we are done. It is currently 3:15. And we started this at about 11. Obviously we had problems with the turf cutter, do not recommend, so that caused a setback. But yeah, this is what the ground's looking like. We've got some soil there for the flower bed, and we've gone about between 6.5 and 8 centimeters deep, so you can't really see too much there, but you don't want to go too deep because obviously the deeper you go, the more you're just filling it back up with aggregates that's costing you money. But obviously you need to have a sufficient depth for it to be a decent foundation. So what we're going to do now is we need to hire a whacker plate. We're going to whacker plate all of the soil first because we've got very loose and light soil, so that's probably going to bring it down another centimetre as it is, and then start shoveling the hardcore in. I'll show you what we've got outside now. This is the wood we ordered from Travis Perkins for the framework, so it's this one here. I will link this wood down below. This is sleeper wood, so this is going to be for my flower bed, so it's going to line across there. It'll all make sense come the end, but that's why we need so much dirt, because it's actually 9 inches deep. So that'll be why we've got 2 of those lengths. And then as you can see, we've made a huge mess, even though I only jet washed this the other day. And if we go outside, this is what our drive is looking like. We've got 4 tons of, this isn't type 1. I wanted to order type 1, but it's, I can't remember. I'll leave it in the description box of what this is, but it's essentially very similar to type 1. You can get away with type 1, but this is just a little bit more finer, I think. It's still crumbly, but I think it's better in the compacting stage. And then we've got another 4-yard skip here, which we've only partially filled this time, but we may need to take some more up. And then I've also got from Travis Perkins over here 850 kilograms of sharp sand that's going on top. So yeah, we've got a lot of materials. Very lucky we've got a double drive, because I don't know what we'd do without one. That is going to go and conclude it for day one though. Very productive day one despite the setback. Absolutely back-breaking, but thankfully the sun's out. And now we have to deal with a week of muddy jerry. Literally, this is going to be hell. I've got white Antico floors. But it's going to be worth it because it's going to be amazing, amazing grass. So we are back for day 2 and thankfully the sun is shining. So it is now Tuesday the 17th or 18th today, but it's just Dad today. He's come round. Say hello. He's come round, bless him, and he's helping me, he's doing completely the framework. So we ordered this timber. And again, all the materials and everything I've actually bought myself for this project, I will leave linked down in the description box, so it's a bit more of like a shopping list if you are planning on buying artificial grass and doing this yourself. But obviously the amounts will be completely different for whatever size garden you're doing. So we did the calculations, but the simple fact is, and I'll be talking through in voiceovers over this video, the step-by-step process, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but as you can see, we're at the framework stage. So this is where you create essentially just a border around whatever section of land you're wanting to astroturf, and this acts as the exact framework. So when you lay down the grass, you essentially just nail in the grass to the edges, so it keeps it nice and taut, tight, and obviously not moving. So that's what we're doing today. It's a little bit of a tedious job, but as you can see what Dad's doing over there, it's basically just getting some footings, getting the trenches kind of in the edges to make sure that the wood can fit in nice and level like this. So we're not actually going that deep, there's no need to. I've already talked you guys through with the aggregates and the sand how much we're actually going. So it's going to be 5 centimeters of hardcore compacted and then 1.5 centimeters of hard sand. Oh my goodness, look at that dog. He's so cute. He's just loving the sun. Look at the little patch of AstroTurf that Dad had left over, and he's already loving that bit of AstroTurf. So he's going to be one happy dog when we've got all of this down. So yeah, basically Dad had to dig it a little bit deeper just to get the wood in, because this wood is much deeper than we actually need to go. So we'll just backfill it with whatever, because obviously we don't want to use too much. We don't want to take out too much mud, sorry, because the more we take out, the more we've got to put back in, and that's going to cost money. So once the frame is all round, and Dad's going to obviously connect the frame together, so the pieces of wood here need to be screwed together and made into long lengths, then it will be staked into the ground. So this is just to support the framing, because obviously over time when people step on it, eventually it's going to slowly obviously take pressure, and if it's not supported properly, it will start to sink over time. So Dad treated some timber. Where did you put those stakes? Dad just treated this timber here, but you can obviously use metal stakes, you can use whatever you've got available. So this was already quality C24 timber, but Dad treated it with creosote. Again, this is something I can link down below if you need to. It just gives it that extra durability, because like I said, these are going to be fully submerged in the ground. Lots of moisture, decay is going to happen. We then had a very, very exciting delivery today. Probably, well, obviously the best and the biggest part of this project. My Grass Direct grass was delivered today, and I am so excited that it's here. This was delivered this morning, our 2 cuts of grass. Again, because we're kind of working with 2 rectangles, we've got them essentially cut to the closest size, so they come rolled up like this, nice and neat. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's here. I will talk more about the grass when it's actually down and I can show you properly. But we ended up going for Milan, which is part of their elite ranges of grass. We just wanted to go for the absolute best. So yes, I'm so excited to say that I'm working with Grass Direct in this video, but I definitely think I want to talk about them more when I can lay it down and show you the actual laying process. That's going to be such a cool clip, so stay tuned. We've also got our weed membrane. Grass Direct do sell everything you would possibly need to do the garden, all the way down to the nails, the galvanized nails that you'll need in, any joining tapes, any joining adhesives. Grass Direct does have everything on their site. So yeah, we're just gonna dig out these footings like Dad's still doing here, get the frame in properly, and then after that It'll be a little bit of a boring job just trying to figure out, maybe pulling some more mud out, putting it in the skip, and then it goes to shoveling the hardcore in and whacking it down, which is our full day tomorrow. So this is what the full structure of the framework looked like. It is just the border around the whole area that you are astroturfing. Then, as you can see here, Dad is just drilling in some nails. We've got a decking there, so we're just doing this to support instead of using, well, we did use stakes as well, as you can see here, but we just put extra in, because if you can support it in any way, you really want to, because it will dip over time. So it's currently 5 o'clock, nearly 5 o'clock, my dad's just left, and we have got to a really good place. So the frame is all in, and something which you didn't see, it's not really I guess this is a landscaping video, but obviously it's all about the putting in the Astroturf, but this was something that I've wanted for a while, and finally my flower bed's in. So we have a raised bed that is going all the way along the edge, so we're going to have really flawless grass up to here, and then this is obviously going to be a raised bed where I can actually have decent plants growing in the ground, and I haven't got to any longer have pots everywhere, so that will be really, really nice. So Andy's job at the moment is he's just going around leveling off the soil, because as you can see there's some bits that are higher, some bits that are too low, so he's just going to level all of that out, and I have got the paintbrush out because we need to paint all the wood obviously before the grass goes down, so I can get a nice clean paint, and then I'm going to go over the corners here while they're exposed as well, just to clean it all up and make it a lot fresher. So yes, the paint we're using as well, by the way, is the same paint that's on our fences here, and it's the Ronseal Fence Life Plus, the 5-year protection for sawn and smooth wood, so it's actually got a treatment within it, and it's in the colour slate. So I'm going to get on with some painting, Andy's going to get on with some levelling, and let's see where we get to.
To be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I won. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty?
And this is what the garden was looking like at the end of day 2. And welcome back to day 3. So it is thankfully a dry day today. It's not the prettiest, it's not the sunniest, but in fact I haven't even checked the forecast today. Let me have a quick look. However, it doesn't matter. Hopefully today is going to be the finish line. I don't know if that's optimism or if that's realistic, but we've got 4 hands on deck today. Mum and Dad are here. It is 8:59 a.m. I've done one more coat of paint on the railway sleepers in here. The plan is that you're going to be seeing hopefully quite a few time lapses today. We have got all the hardcore outside. We are going to be bringing the whacker plate in. That's what Dad's doing at the moment. We need to whacker down all the soil because obviously the soil was loose, so it gives you a better foundation. It lets us know exactly kind of how deep we've gone. Here is said whacker plate. We went for an electric one today, and then we're going to be barreling in all of this. But yes, bring on hopefully a full day that is going to be transforming all of this into something very beautiful. So we got on with whacking down the soil, so we got that all nice and flat. We did actually have to keep adding little bits of soil back in as well, because we were noticing that the whacker was really dipping quite in some places and it wasn't very even. So it really was a game of taking in, taking out, taking in, taking out. It was very tedious, but you've got to get this correct because obviously this will determine the foundations, which are so important. This is just the whacker plate. You can hire this at any DIY place and it's about £20 a day average, obviously depending where you are. We then started shoveling in the hardcore, and as you can see we were compacting as we were going just to make sure that we had enough, because I did a few calculators online for the area. I will leave a calculator link down below that I used. We ended up ordering 4 tons, as I said, of this aggregate, but we probably could have got away with 3. However, I was just happy to be on the safe side. So as you can see from the time lapse, this is what we did for a good hour plus. Me and Mum were shoveling it in the wheelbarrow, and Andy and Dad were compacting it down, and it was literally just this process over and over until it was full. You haven't got to worry too much about it being perfectly level at this point, because the MOT is just there to be really sort of compacted down and really give that concrete almost base to the whole structure.
Put your head down, be.
We then moved on to the next step, which is adding the sharp sand. So you want to add about roughly 15 millimeters of sharp sand to the top of your compacted type 1 or aggregates, and then use a straight edge to go ahead and level out. So this is the important bit of the leveling. The ground, the soil, and the aggregate that we've put down already. Yes, of course, we want to keep that as even as possible, but honestly, the sand is the important part. So we were barreling it in, and then we were raking it across and using a straight edge to go ahead and make sure that it is all as flat as possibly could be. And it really was a case of going round each corner, double checking, and then we went ahead and compacted it all down again.
You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box.
After you have done the sand step and you're happy with the level, a bit of the fun bit comes in now, which is putting down the weed membrane. So this is so important because you do not want to get any growth or allow any growth to come up through that grass, because obviously that will just absolutely ruin it. This grass needs to be in for years to come, so you want to make sure the ground has absolutely no chance to grow. So this is our weed membrane. We're just laying it, and then we are joining it and nailing it into the framework. Here is the grass from Grass Direct. We are now at a position we're getting ready to lay it.
Davey, what's this? What's this? Is this your new grass? Yeah, oh, look! Taste the sample. That's your new grass. Oh my goodness.
No, not for you to chew. Not for you to chew.
And then the next step and the fun bit, which is actually laying the Grass Direct grass. As I said, this is Milan that we went for. This is such a satisfying clip. So we just basically pulled it over. There's no real rhyme, reason or technique to this, but then you need to obviously cut it to size. So we roughly just cut off this excess section. My dad just used a Stanley knife. You will need quite a few blades because they do blunt out very, very quickly. And then we found that this was the best way to do it. So my dad put little odd Sharpie marks on the backing of the grass, and then we could make a lot cleaner a line with the cut. It was a very difficult thing to sort of cut the grass itself because it's so thick and good quality that getting the knife through it is just, getting that straight line is a bit of a skill. So it took a little while, but as you can see, we did that for each piece, and then we went ahead and started the joining process. So in joining kits, you tend to get this piece of tape. So it's a double-sided bit of tape you can stick down onto your membrane, and then you can go ahead and use the glue. So we used an Astro Pro. This is the one we used. I'll link it down below again. You just make a little bit of a squiggly line and then make sure obviously the two pieces are cut perfectly, and then you can lay them at the same time down and just try and blend them in. Again, a bit of a skill.
And Jerry's gonna go on the grass for the first time. Davey, are you gonna go on the grass? Would you like to go on the grass? Have a look at your new grass. What is it? Davey, what's this? Yay! Look at the grass! Look at the grass!
And just like that, we're on day 4, the final day. I say final day, to be honest. I mean, we are going to be working today, but basically everything is down. The big work is done, and it's just the finishing touches. So I'm going to show you now what we're doing today / what we've done. And now you can step out. I need to jet wash all of this again. And we have got our lovely grass down. Please ignore the washing. We've got a super warm day today, so I needed to get everything out on the line. So yesterday what we did is we went round and just tacked in some nails. So you can see just here, sort of every foot we kind of put in a nail. That was just to obviously get it down and make sure that there was absolutely no creases in it. A great thing about the grass that we chose, and I think generally going for the Grass Direct higher range of grass, as I showed you from the samples, this is such a high pile grass that it actually gives you so much tolerance. I feel like if you went for really thin grass, it would be almost like material, so when you're laying it, you're probably going to get a ton of creases and it's just not going to look nice. Whereas because this is so thick, you naturally just kind of don't get creases in it. So it is perfectly flat. Obviously it does need to settle, it's going to have time. All of the pile is still kind of facing down. We did give it a brush, but over time it'll eventually just become more natural. So the job for today is we need to just go back in, and basically we want to put these nails, and we are using these nails right here. So basically you just need galvanized
galvanized nails. So we've bought 2 boxes of these. So basically we're going to try and put 1 nail in about every 15 centimeters, and we've got to do the whole parameter, so we are going to be here a little while. And then what you didn't see is yesterday, just down the end here, this little strip actually was not complete. So obviously the grass rolls only come in so long, and you will need to do some joining. So I showed you the joining clip that we did for here. So that was a join just there, and then we needed to just do a final little join at the end. So Andy's just cut this to piece, and he's just adhesived it in the exact same way as you've seen in the previous clips. So now that's done, and it just needs all nailing in, and apart from that, we are done. Jerry has been absolutely loving it today. He loves his new grass. He's christened it, gone for a wee on it, he's gone for a poo-poos on it. And it's just now going to make having a dog so much easier. When he goes in and out now, I know that obviously like he's not going to be treading in poo, because genuinely before the grass was so thin with the mud that we couldn't even, by the time we went to go pick up his poos, it almost dissolved into the mud. And then like when he goes out on the night, he's probably stepping in it, and then he's coming in the house, and genuinely as someone with OCD, it's just so like, it's just horrible to think. That's why I'm constantly cleaning. Whereas now I can actually clean down all of this with antibac and solution, and I very much intend to do that on a very regular basis. I feel happier now when our friends' kids come round as well, when we have barbecues and things, that again, they're not, you know, going to be trotting in dog poo or wee and things like that. And I'm just genuinely absolutely made up with it. My garden is picture perfect. And of course then the only other thing I'm going to show you and do a part 2 to this video is kind of finishing off the garden. So doing those things, which is cleaning down the decking, cleaning down the patio, putting out my garden furniture. And then I also want to do the flower bed with you guys. So I need to order a ton of topsoil and get that all in there, and I'm going to be having a little herb garden, and I'm also going to be having then plants along there. I'm going to take Nan shopping, and we're going to go to the garden centre and just buy a ton of stuff, and I'm so excited. So yes, a massive thank you to Grass Direct for being a part of this video and making my vision a reality. I genuinely couldn't be happier. I seriously couldn't be happier with my garden right now. It's absolutely picture perfect, and this grass is gonna last for the duration that we're in this house anyway. It's gonna last so many years, tens of years, and it's very much got my Dashin's approval. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the video there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will be linking down below every single thing that I used and every link to the products that I have used in this video, as well as obviously a specific Grass Direct link to my exact grass. This is the Milan grass. I highly recommend it. I will also leave a link down below to the Grass Direct DIY guide of how to install the grass, which is what I personally followed and told you guys about in this video. I followed those steps pretty much to a T. So if you want to install your own grass, which I recommend you very much can do, then I will leave that link down there as well. I will leave you guys to it. This has been a long video, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my part 2. Ciao.
Just wanna look into your eyes. You know